Hello everyone, welcome back once again. In this video we will look at building a web application in Python using Visual Studio 2019. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do. So Python is one of the most popular programming languages in the world. Created in the early 90s, it enjoys a wide range of uses from automating repetitive tasks and writing web apps to building machine learning modules and implementing neural networks. Researchers, mathematicians, and data scientists in particular like Python language because of its rich and easy to understand syntax and the wide range of open source packages available. Packages are commonly used shared code libraries that are freely available for anyone to use. So to get started, as you can see here, I've got Visual Studio opened with a new project dialog here. So what we do is create a new project. So as you can see here, I have got a new project dialog here. So here we go about it by selecting the language. We can leave it at all platforms here because it's not really important. And then we select the web for a web application. So as you can see here, Python in Visual Studio supports developing web projects in Bottle, Flask, and Django frameworks through a project template and a debug launcher that can be configured to handle various frameworks. So these templates include a requirements.txt file to declare the necessary dependencies when creating a project from one of these templates. So Visual Studio prompts you to install those packages later in this video. So you can also use the generic web project template for other frameworks such as Pyramid. So in this case, no frameworks are installed with the template. Instead, install the necessary package into the environment you're using. So to get us started, we will make an example using the Flask web project here. So as you can see here, there are multiple web projects that we could actually use. The Bottle web project, the Django, the Flask. So we scroll down here, so we can also use the Flask Jade and whatnot. So we're just going to use just a simple Flask web project here. So we click on this bit here, but obviously if you're not seeing this bit here, there's one thing that I would like to talk about. So if you're not seeing the the project templates, that means you don't have a Python development installed. So you have to open your Visual Studio installer and make sure that you checked on this box here, the Python development. This is in Italian, but it's still the same. It's just the language changes. So you check this bit here and you download and install it. Then you come back to the new project dialog. So after that, then you'll be able to see all these bits here. So once you actually done with this bit here, so you can click on the next. So once you click on the next, you'll be taken to this configure your new project dialog here. So here you'll be able to change the project name, change the project location, and rename your solution, which we're not going to do any of it because it's not really applicable to this video. So once you've done all this bit here, so we can click on the create. So as you can see here now, we've got that project created. So this is just a Flask web project template, so which generates an app whose static files are contained in the static folder. So here we've got this folder here, the Flask web project 3. So once we actually open it here, we have got a static folder, which contains the content. So let's see what is inside. The content contains the styles, the CSS files for the project. And then we have the fonts folder, which contains the font, and the scripts, which contains all the JavaScripts. So we've got these templates here, which contains the HTML documents for the pages like index, the contact, and about page. So we have a views.py views.py which handles all the routing with the pages templates using the Jinja engine contained in the template folder. which we've actually just looked at right now. So as you can see here, we've got the routing, the route, the routing details. So here we've got the home definition, which returns to the home at the template, which is index.html. And here we've got the contact, we've got the about page, and whatnot. So we should also bear that in mind here. And we have got this run server.py file, which contains the startup code for the application to start running or to start the server. So here we've got definition for the local host and then the port number or the port to be used, which in it turns we've got this app.run, which takes in the host and the port. So here we've actually got the host definition here as our local host, and we've got the port definition as our 555, the port number. So we should bear that one in mind as well. So before we can actually run this web project, yeah, we have to create a virtual environment. Yeah, so as you can see here, we've got this bit inside here, the Python packages specification file, the requirement.txt, yeah, which is this bit here. So as you can see here, it's a Flask one. So it's actually requiring, the requirement.txt was detected in project Flask web project. So it's requiring us to create a virtual environment to be able to run the application. So we're just going to click on this bit here. So now, as you can see here, we've got the add environment dialog here. So here, we'll be able to create a new environment to be able to run our project here. So we go about it by clicking on this bit here. We're not going to make any changes here. So we're just going to click on the create. So now as you can see here, we've got this dialog popping up. So it's preparing all the environment details to be installed. So we just gotta wait for this bit to get sorted out. So now, as you can see here now, we've got all the requirement stuff being installed successfully. So if you look at this environment bit here, so we've got all the necessary packages installed, including the Jinja, the Flask, and whatnot. Yeah. So when debugging or running the web application or the Flask web application, there are two bits here. So we've got the web server, which actually runs in a console application, and then the main web application that actually runs on the browser. So once we actually start with F5 or we click on the run, we get two pieces here, both the server and then the browser. So we can start running it by clicking on this bit here or clicking on F5. Yeah, so now as you can see here, we've got the server running at the moment. Yeah, on this local host and through this port. Yeah, so we can actually quit the server by using the Control C. So now we're just gonna have to wait a bit for the browser to also kick in. Yeah, so now as you can see, we have the first application running. So if we look at this bit here now, we've also got the server running in a console application. So whatever event that is hit here, we can get it actually reflected on the server. So let's say we click on this bit here, about page. So as you can see here, we've got the about page being reflected on the server. So it's a get method. So we've got the get about HTTP. So that is in a 127.0.0.1. So which is the local server or the local host. So we can hit this bit here again, and we still get the same thing, the same effects here. So as you can see, it's not really difficult to get you started in terms of building your first web application using Python in Visual Studio. So like now I've actually got you to this part here. you can continue to actually extend your knowledge on this bit here. So if you've got any issues, you can drop a line on this video, and I will respond promptly. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do. And have a lovely morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Peace.